To the innovative Compubyte POS software. What you're going to be learning in this quick tutorial is how to do cash refunds and credit notes. If you do a cash refund, it's when you're basically taking out money from the till for a customer who paid cash and is returning some goods. If you do a credit note, it's for people who have basically bought an account and then are returning the goods. Or if they bought on cash and you want to just give them a credit note, but you'll have to open an account for them. We're going to do a cash refund. Let's start with the cash refund. So we click on the cash refund. The first thing you do is you pick up the document where the credit is to be passed from and you put the document number. Let's say the document number is 2, so you press enter. Thereafter it tells you press enter to display all the item retrieves, or 1 to clear the list but not allow processing of an item that's not on the original invoice. Most of the times you would basically press enter if all the items on the invoice is to be basically used to pass the credit. So if I press enter, it shows you all the items, and now I just press the end document, press enter, end document, and I've passed a credit for this particular item. You'll notice something very interesting is the system will not allow you to pass a credit on an item where credit was already given. Let's try the example again. So I'll press F4. I put the document number in, which was number 2. Immediately it asks you press enter to display all items retrieved. So I press enter again, and I press enter, and it shows you credited before, and it tells you the date that it was credited before, and now you don't basically have any units where credit can be given. So in this way you're basically securing all your credit notes. I'm going to clear the form. You notice the clear form button is to be pressed whenever you have a number of items and you just want to clear the items. Now let's do a credit on an account sales. So we're pressing F4 again. To get our menu, we go to credit notes. Then we choose the document. If the document number was 1 on which we're going to pass a credit. Now the document number that we're talking about is the invoice, the original invoice number by which the debtor bought the accounts. So you put the number in. It then asks you press enter to display all items retrieved, or 1 to clear the list. You normally only clear the list if you have many items on the original invoice where you dispatch the goods, and you only want to basically then pass a credit of 1 or 2 items. So if I look at this particular document 1, you'll see I've sold 2 minus 1 and I've sold 2 minus 2. So I'm just going to clear both of it, and now I'm going to only pass a credit on 2 minus 1. So I press 2 minus 1 and I'm going to pass a credit on the size large. That's it, and I've passed a credit on it. It's 87.50. Now what if I took 3 minus 1 and I choose a size 6 and I choose 7.99 and I press enter? Now immediately the system knows that on the original invoice number 1 there was no barcode two-tone, and it will remove this from the credit note. So it's removed from the credit note. In this way you have an added security on your system when you're passing credit notes. Now I'm going to end the document, pass the credit note, and the credit note has been passed. If I go to my account sales, which I press F4 again, there's no credit note. I'm going to go to account sales, right? And I'm going to choose the account Joe where the credit was given. I choose his account, and I can view his account now by putting my access code 1234, and I can see he owes 974 rings. I put a detail of the account. It shows me the invoice that was basically done on the account, so you can actually know what invoices were done. Now if I look at account number, what was the original invoice where the credit note was given in was invoice number 1. Now if I want to know who was invoice number 1, I can also retrieve a document or reprint a document. So I go to retrieve document, which is F7. I put in the document number 1, and it immediately tells me that it was account number 6 who got a credit on this particular item, which is test 6. Test 6 was account 6. Now if I close this particular document, if I close this particular screen, and if I go to account number 6, I press enter, I view the account, I put the access code in, I see a detail account. I can see he bought an invoice number 1 and he took a credit note of invoice number, so I can see the items that he bought and the credit that he's taken. So I look at the values and those are the values. Now if I want to see exactly what items he purchased, then I won't choose detail account, I'll choose detailed itemized account. And I go there, and I can see I've basically done these other things, shares or pings, whatever it is, and those are the credit notes that were basically passed. And I can close the window. I can close it from here, and I've now closed the reporting window. That's how simple credit notes are basically being processed in the Compubyte Boss software.